Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Habakkuk. Double honors unto the elders, the apostles of the great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Who is in the gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Akim Mahalaria coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Oh, man, brothers, man, this is your pa, who shows you this is why we must continue to push this word, man, because believe it or not, you never know who's listening to you. Our brother once told me, he said, we don't know how much fruit that we've gathered just in general for speaking the words, because the scriptures tell you that the word was going to bring the elect and the believers together in this time. All right, this is a brother by the name of Stephen Hodge. He appears to be an Edomite, but he can clearly have confusion to face. And he's a new brother, you know, he's just starting to learn. And this is the first time I've ever seen him or not, or even known he's exist. He commented on my last video stating that something after the sit down I put, something happened to him in a good way. And I clicked on his page and, you know, he's still learning, okay? It's a few points that he went off on in the video, but you know, I mean, you know, you slip up with the tongue, and also he's young. He's not really a teacher as of yet, but he's desired to want to be a teacher. And he listened to GMS Louisiana. He listened to us in KC. But I encourage you too, brother, since you're in Atlanta, to, you know, also listen to them brothers in Atlanta too, because, you know, they're, you know, that's a very, very knowledgeable and solid camp. The head by the bow at Tazawam, you know, very solid brother in the spirit, you know, love the brother. But anyway, yeah, he's new, you know, you can tell by his timeline. He's just, you know, brothers that's new, that's over the place, and it's all good. We can work with it. You know, he made a couple of comments about certain things that he broke down kind of wrong. I know he said the Shabbat being Saturday, or if I misread it, Salakia, or misheard it, Salakia. But the Shabbat is according to the new moon. Okay, now several scriptures to prove that. We can go over it in a different lesson, but this is mainly us acknowledging the fruit that's listening, and brothers to be very mindful of what you say, and you know, be grateful that the Lord has given us this truth, because once again, you never know who's watching you. You know, honestly, our camp, we're one of the least, I won't say the least talked about, but we one of the ones that fly under the radar, because when you think of Kansas City, Missouri, or whatever, you don't really think anything of much. It's like, oh, that's Kansas. Like, ain't shut out there with tumbleweeds and cornfields. But that's really not the case. You know, we just like any other city out there. And the fact that I'm not from Kansas City, I'm from Chicago, but it's the same thing, just smaller. You know what I'm saying? But just a beautiful thing to seeing brothers to watch the videos and actually to learn and be edified, and to continue to study and to take notes. You know, for your case, Stephen Thomas, you know, you're sincere about this thing. I recommend, you know, you learn to watch the videos, take notes, and so forth like that, and to build up, you know, your understanding. And once you get to a certain level, you know, maybe seek out brothers in Atlanta to deal with them. That way you build your knowledge base up, because right now, you know, you're not really to be, so to speak, teaching, and you wasn't really teaching in the video, but you gave some points, you know, and that's why you learn for, you know, you take notes. It's a beautiful thing. But, you know, for right now, bro, just be concerned with just learning and taking notes, and just reading and studying and watching the apostles of Great Millstone. You know, definitely watch the apostles of Great Millstone, because, you know, that's who we learn from. But nonetheless, this truth is not being spread in vain, brothers. You know, your works are not being unaccounted for. And this proves it right here. You know, he's said a lot of good things about my camp and other camps as well. So, you know, there's just a confirmation that, you know, we're doing the right thing, hopefully. So anyway, I got just 2 precepts here. I want to start in the book of John, the 10th chapter. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at 11. It says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. All right. This truth is all about sacrificing. Okay. About putting your best foot forward, putting your life on the line. All right. That's why we say our bodies as a living sacrifice, because anything can happen out there on them streets when you're teaching. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we're behind enemy lines. You know, we're not hiding our faces. You know, we're not ducking for cover. We're out there, okay, for everybody to see us. So it's not a hidden thing. And one thing the bro Mike Olive from Dallas always told us, he said, "Hey, bro, y'all be ready to judge, man." He always said that shit. I'm like, damn. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay. But realizing the gravity that meant is just like we're getting ready to judge, men coming in this thing. We're getting ready to be able to make decisions and come up with things in the spirit on what's supposed to be. We're getting ready to establish order leading into a kingdom. So our lot is heavy, man. It's very heavy. And we don't even realize the type of power we're holding just by teaching his word, man. That's why brothers got to really get in tune with the spirit, with themselves, with their mindset, and really not do this thing as a chore. Really do this thing because you believe in it. Because brothers are watching. Brothers are watching, they're absorbing, they're taking notes, and they're watching you. So your conduct, your behavior, your mannerisms, all these things are being taken into account. So we have to be very, very careful, man, that we have, fresh fruit out here watching the videos clearly. And we don't want to give the wrong impression or the wrong indication for these young brothers out there, because, we all came in under the rough note. We all use so-called profanity and shit, which is nothing wrong with it. It's just in the spirit when you do it and when you don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to be out there appearing to be brawlers, or we just out there for filthy lucre's sake. Like he made a beautiful comment about Sakari. He said, man, I could just tell that they're out there to look good. And, this guy, he's really young. I mean, probably a matter of months. And he was able to make that judgment call, which is, a good thing. And I don't think it was based on what we've said about them, but just if the spirit is dealing, you can very well see it. Okay. And that's a spiritual thing. That's a spiritual observance. It's a good one. And it says here, but he that is a hireling is a person that has a job for hire. All right. It says, and not the shepherd whose own sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catches them and scattered the sheep. Okay. So our job as being a shepherd is to make sure that the sheep are not scattered by the wolf. It's to make sure that we're presenting the right message and the right understanding to these younger brothers and sisters coming in. Okay, because I'm not going to say everything he said. It was mainly on point, but he's real young, and, some things he was off about, but it wouldn't be any problem with correcting him. You know what I'm saying? And we have to, I may have to do a sit down or a lesson to, just go over certain points to prove the point. Like, yeah, this is what this mean, brother. This is what that mean. You know what I'm saying? And being in the mindset of hearing the word, and learning. But it reads here, it says, the hireling fleeth because he is a hireling and cared not for the sheep. And there's a lot of guys we know that's in that spirit. He says, I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and I am known of mine. And as the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay my life down for the sheep. That's what Yahushua did ultimately when he got crucified, man. Okay? And we have to all be in that same spirit. And it reads, verse 16, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, which that really goes into the northern kingdom. Okay? Because it was highly talked about in the ancient Native American tales and Taínos. They had a story of Quetzalcoatl, which is basically Yahushua. They had their own depictions of the beginning of creation. All right, and they even called the Lord Yehoshua. I think it was Yehoshua, or it was a broken dialect of Hebrew, but nonetheless, the Lord came and supped with Gad and Reuben and Ephraim and those other 10 tribes. He supped with them. All right. But overall, this is talking about the other kingdom, the northern kingdom. But again, just in general, the fruit that's coming in now. He says, I have other sheep. OK, he says that are not of this fold. OK. And this brother appears to be a confusion of face. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never heard of him besides today. I mean, I've probably read a couple of comments, but I never checked his timeline until today. So the spirit just really, moved on me to look into it. And I saw the video. And it says, of them I must bring that they should hear my voice, And there should be one fold and one shepherd, right? Because we all going to come together as a collective, as the 12 tribes in the kingdom. Right now, the elect is being gathered, and Yahweh Shai is going to be that shepherd. All right. And that's beautiful how, like I said, the brother, he's not really a teacher yet. He's still learning. He was just putting out his experiences and giving shout outs to the different camps. We so happen to be one of them. But the fact that the word is getting out there, and there's always room for correction and improvement. But the fact that the bug or the seed has been planted, and it can be watered and it can sprout into its own tree and bring forth more fruit. And that's what we want. That goes back into the parable of the talents. This man have 10 talents. He had 5 talents. And behold, you rule over 10 cities, etc. That's what this goes into. So brothers, man, never negate the fruit you may have out there. You never know who's listening to you, in what country, what town, what city, what state. Brothers are listening all the time, because this is about the elect being gathered. All right. This is the book of Isaiah 55, and I'm going to start at 10. It says, "For as the rain cometh down, and snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater." All right. As rain has this particular purpose. Okay. You have crops, you have vegetation. Okay. You have greenery. These all things require water, rain. Okay. A healthy ecosystem so it can sprout forth. That's the whole purpose of rainwater. Okay, to populate or to grow the seeds of the field and to moisture the earth, man. Because the earth has its own, own filtration systems, which is called a dew, And it says here, "So shall my word that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." Okay, so this word is going to reach whoever it needs to reach, and it's going to wake up whoever is going to wake up, which proves that Esau, he's in big trouble. He can't stop. He can't stop this truth. It's impossible at this point. Cat is out the bag. Everybody is talking about this truth. It's the whole Israelite thing, and Esau, he's afraid. And one thing I want to say to you too, Stephen Thomas, make sure I got your name right. Just if you're not familiar with something, then, just don't have to speak on it for real. Just learn, take notes, and take it from there. But, if it's something you're not fully apt to teaching on, then don't really speak on it, Like at this point, honestly, I think you probably should just learn and take notes, and study, and then take it from that point, get measured through the Spirit. And look at the apostles and elders, man. That way you build up more. Get your knowledge base up. Continue to watch us as well, because we come in the same spirit. We all teach the same thing. One last precept here. Get the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. And I'm going to start at verses... Let's start at verses 9. It says, after this, and this is after the 144,000 were sealed. It says, but after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, right? Because they got the victory. This is the elect, which proves that you're going to have elect that's going to look like every nation. Like he looked like a so-called white boy. You know what I'm saying? Anybody see him, you'd think he was an Edomite, but he like, nah, I grew up around Jake shit. I've always gravitated to Negroes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the spirit. That's the ones that we're looking at in this great multitude. You're going to have Israelites that look like Chinese people, that look like East Indian people, look like Turkish, or which Edomites, Iranians, Elam or Elam, Ishmael, Arabs, Moab, what's the other guy? Ham. You're going to have Israelites that look like all these other nations, And it says here, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation unto our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the angels of the Lamb. So, hey, that was that great multitude, and hey, they're watching, bros. These brothers and sisters, they're watching us, man. So, hey, let's be mindful. And this is the reason why we should continue to push. And with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. With that, Shalom and the Baba Ball.